Born in 1917 in Brooklyn, famed singer and actress Lena Horne was just 16 years old when she joined the chorus of the Cotton Club in 1933. After becoming a nightclub performer and displaying a tremendous amount of natural talent, Horne moved to Hollywood, where she set out to make a name for herself. She ultimately went on to enjoy a career that spanned more than 7 decades, appearing in films, TV shows, and theater productions. Eventually, she returned to her roots as a nightclub performer, and in August of 1963 took part in the March on Washington. After participating in that historically significant civil rights demonstration, she continued to work as a performer both on TV and in nightclubs, while releasing a slew of critically acclaimed albums. There's no denying Lena Horne's talent, drive, and gusto, but one of her most significant assets was her looks. Join Facts First as we take a look back at sultry photos of Lena Horne you won't be able to take your eyes off of. Lena Horne was destined for stardom. Lena would be turning 105 this year if she were still with us, but in many ways she never went anywhere. Her memory is still alive and well in the hearts and minds of the people she touched throughout her career. While she may have gotten her start as a nightclub ingenue, she eventually became a champion of the fight for civil rights. She's also remembered as being one of the most dynamic and tenacious performers of her generation. Being a woman of color, she had to fight tooth and nail to get the respect she deserved. Even when she had it, she had to fight like hell to keep it. Lena was born in Bedford-Stuyvesant in Brooklyn. Both her father and mother's sides of the family were African American, although also with a mix of Native American and European ancestry. She hailed from the upper stratum of middle-class, well-educated black people. Her ancestors were reportedly tied to John C. Calhoun, whose nephew, Dr. Andrew Bonaparte Calhoun, was a slaveholder of people whose descendants include Horne's family. Her dad, Edwin Fletcher Horne Jr., or Teddy as he was known, owned a local hotel and restaurant. He was also a gambling man who ran a racket around town. When she was 3, Lena's father left the family after divorcing her mother and moved to an upper-middle-class African-American neighborhood in Pittsburgh. When Lena was 18, she went to Pennsylvania to live with him before getting married a year later. Her mother, Edna Louise Scottron, was an actress who traveled with a black theater troupe extensively in her formative years. Since her mother was often away and her father left, Lena was primarily raised by her grandparents. After moving in with her father in Pittsburgh, she spent 5 years learning music from fellow Pittsburghers Billy Eckstine and Billy Strayhorn, among others. Before we tell you more about Lena Horne, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Lena didn't want to be a stereotype. When Horne was 25, she told her father that Walter White, the head of the NAACP at the time, was urging her to seek out stardom in Hollywood. While Lena was sure she would be able to become a movie star someday, her father wasn't impressed by her lofty aspirations. Instead, he said he was going to buy her a house and hire a maid because, as he put it, that was the role she was going to inevitably play someday, and she might as well learn what a real maid does to prepare herself. Once she'd made her way to LA, Horne managed to not let herself get typecast as a domestic worker. Instead, she became groomed by MGM head Louis B. Mayer and was given a 7-year contract with the studio. In the process, she had to suck up to the Hollywood mogul and subject herself to the intrinsic racism that permeated the industry. One day, her father Teddy barged into Meyer's office and, after first thanking him for offering his daughter a chance to work with the studio, demanded that she not be given demeaning roles as maids or other racially stereotypical roles. Horne's mother, who at this point was a failed actress, was extremely jealous of her daughter's budding career. While Lena's father showed up in Hollywood to be her advocate, Edna showed up there for a different reason. She wanted to be given a career like Lena's, and if Lena didn't cooperate and somehow magically turn her into a star, she was ready to tell the press a story about a daughter who had climbed on top of her mother's shoulders only to toss her aside after achieving stardom. While Lena couldn't snap her fingers and make her mother famous, she did end up paying her off. Horne relentlessly fought against racism. Lena made her film debut in 1938's The Duke is Tops. 4 years later, she appeared in Panama Hattie, playing a nightclub singer. Even though she was signed to MGM at this time, the films she was starring in were shot in such a way that the scenes she was in could be cut out when they were shown in the South. At the time, Southern theaters refused to show movies where black performers were depicted as being anything but subservient to whites. In 1943, she appeared in 20th Century Fox's Stormy Weather. It featured an all-black cast and did extremely well at the box office. Her rendition of the film's title track became a major hit on the music charts. She also appeared in Cabin in the Sky in 1943, which is widely regarded as one of the best performances of her career. Her singing career began to take off around this time, while her acting career stagnated. But even at the height of her musical career, Lena was often denied rooms at the very same hotels she would perform at because they wouldn't let black people stay there. Then, in the early 50s, she experienced another significant setback when her name appeared in Red Channels, a report listing entertainers who supposedly had communist leanings. For the next several years, she struggled to find work. During this time, she performed at nightclubs, but nobody in Hollywood would hire her for TV or film roles. It was later determined she had been added to this list after performing at a club in Greenwich Village called Cafe Society Downtown when she was 23. The club was New York City's first integrated venue, and it was there she got a chance to work with famed composer and jazz musician Paul Robeson, who served as her mentor of sorts. While neither she nor most of the club's patrons knew it at the time, the establishment had been involved in moving money for the Communist Party. And while she had nothing to do with this, her skin color and eventual prominence in Hollywood made her a prime target during the so-called Red Scare. Despite all these missteps, after being blacklisted in Hollywood, Horne subsequently disavowed communism and eventually managed to make a comeback. Before that, however, she spent many years working alongside the NAACP campaigning for civil rights, and in August of 1963 participated in the massive civil rights protests known as the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. After several years of not finding roles, she returned to the screen in 1969's Death of a Gunfighter. She later appeared on screen 2 more times, in 1978's The Wiz and 1994's That's Entertainment 3. She died of congestive heart failure on May 9, 2010. Thousands attended her funeral at St. Ignatius Loyola Church on Park Avenue in New York City. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of Lena Horne? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content. By the way, if you haven't joined Facts First as a member yet, be sure to look below this video and click the join button. By becoming a paid member of Facts First, you'll get access to exclusive video content that you won't find anywhere else. This includes some of our more mature content that isn't suitable for public audiences, which includes topics like Hollywood actresses who posed for Playboy and some of the steamiest moments in movie history. Plus, you can enjoy these videos completely ad-free. Our biggest fans will notice they also get badges next to their name when they leave comments on our videos. We pay special attention to comments from our members, and so do other viewers. So if you want exclusive content from Facts First or inside access to discussions with other community members, click the join button to get started for just $4.99. There are hours of members-only videos waiting for you, with new videos added every month. And we're actively working on bringing even more features to help fans like you connect with other members and get more of your favorite content. Just click join, and we'll see you inside the membership tab.